Hello, I'm Deanna Herron, host of the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. Have you ever wanted to do something bold, like start a business, write a book, or go for your dream job? This show was created for women just like you who want to be bold, shine bright with grace. My goal is to educate you, inspire you, and empower you with ideas that can transform your life. Be inspired by the Deanna Herron Podcast Show at deannaherron.net. Hello, and welcome to the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. This is Deanna Herron, your host. Today, we are going to continue our conversation about gratitude. On last week's podcast, we talked about some tools to help you 10x your gratitude to increase your abundance factor. And just so you know, to attract what you want in your life, just to recap a little bit of last week's podcast, one key is to become a magnet of positivity, joy, and happiness. And gratitude can change your attitude. So on today's podcast, I'm going to do a little bit deeper dive into gratitude in your life. And I know you have big goals for the future, which is awesome. We all need big goals. We all need dreams. We all need to have a future plan. But what I want to talk to you about today is having gratitude for today. And I'm going to be really honest, that has been something that has been so hard for me in the past. So I'm going to share with you some real raw stories of my past and how I was able to overcome that and really express gratitude in today. So let's get started. So my story is, when I was a child, I learned that my worth tied around success. My worth was always around searching for happiness. It wasn't anyone's fault. It's just the stories that I started to tell myself. And I knew that I felt valued when I was successful. I felt valued when I made good grades. I felt valued when I won a track meet. And so I learned to search for happiness in the future. So I've told this story before. And if you are new to the podcast, you haven't heard this story. When I was in college age, I actually took a waitress job, which if you've never been a waitress or waiter, you need to become one. That gives you so many life skills. Everyone needs to wait tables at least once in their life. I was a waitress and I was actually paying my way through college. And one of the things that college gave me and taught me was I really learned how to party. And since I was paying for my college, I took a couple of years off because I thought, all I'm learning is really how to party and I'm not showing up to class. I'm not doing the work. And so why am I wasting my money? And so I took this waitress job and I actually had two waitressing jobs at the time, just to make ends meet. And when this one particular job, I was really unhappy. And the manager that I was working for at the time, he sat me down and he said, I noticed that, there's just this level of discontent with you. What is going on? And I said, I'm thinking about quitting this job and taking on a different waitressing job because I'm just not happy here. And what he said to me at that time was so magical for a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, however old I was at the time. He said to me, Deanna, you need to find happiness where you are. If you're always looking for the lack, you will always find lack. And he said, I'll tell you what, in the next week, I want you to start focusing on everything that you like about this job. And at the end of the week, let's meet. And if you still don't like what you're doing, I'll let you go. I'll let you go and find another waitressing job. And so clearly after the week, focusing on the abundance and the things that job did create for me, my attitude had changed and I ended up staying in that career. So manager Paul really changed my focus. He really helped me see the abundance in the day. And so after that, I went to college. He was a pivotal role in that, clearly, because I had made the decision, this waitressing jobs, working so many hours. This is not the life for me. And so I went to college, became a physician's assistant. And then it was like, what's next? Okay, I got married. What's next? Have kids. What's next? I started a business. And it was always looking for that what's next was the trap that I caught myself in. If I would have taken Paul's advice all the way through my life, you guys, I would have been able to see that there's so much gratitude in the present. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. In my book, I call this the trap of happiness. And it's that we're always looking for happiness in outside sources, for the what's next, instead of learning to be grateful where you are today. Please don't misunderstand me. I am not telling you not to set goals. That is not what I'm talking about here. But in order for you to be a magnet of abundance in your life, you first have to be grateful for today, where you are today. The only way to have that extraordinary life is learning to appreciate the ordinary in your day. I want to say that again. The only way to have that extraordinary life that you want is learning to appreciate the ordinary in your day. You have to celebrate your life today and celebrate the wins for the day, even though you don't think they're enough. A lot of times, what I do, because I'm a list maker and I'm getting better at just enjoying what I have to do today, truly enjoying what I have to do today or what I have the opportunity to do today. But the only way that we can experience that true joy is to be able to celebrate those small wins in life instead of at the end of the day, we look at, but I didn't do this and I didn't do this and I didn't get this done and I didn't get to mark this off my list. You guys, we should be praising what we were able to accomplish. So start praising and giving yourself gratitude and high fives and pats on the back for what you were able to achieve that particular day. And what I want to teach you is it's not just about the achievements. So your life consists of days. So I want you to think about what you're doing with this one. And so I want to give you two things to really think about. So if you have not listened to last week's podcast, please go back and listen to that because I'm encouraging you to 10x your gratitude for the next 30 days to really become a magnet of abundance, that abundance that you want in your life. And this will truly change your attitude. And I've given you 3 exercises that I want you to do for the next 30 days. I'm doing them with you. And I can tell you, it's already made a huge, major difference in my attitude of abundance. And so I want to add a couple of things for you to think about this week. And the first thing is we have to be grateful for the small things in life. So the small things in life. I thought about this the other day. I don't know what triggered it, but as I was walking through my house, I woke up and put my feet on the floor. And the first thing that I thought about was, oh my goodness, I am so grateful for the feet that I have, that I have the opportunity to walk on these wood floors and walk downstairs to my coffee pot. I'm so grateful that I have hands to hold this cup that will give me coffee that brings me so much joy. And you guys, it was just that realization that there are so many small things that we take for granted throughout the day that we really should out loud share some gratitude. So as you walk through your house, as you walk through your office, as you walk through the grocery store, whatever it is, start either in your head or out loud, just talking about and being grateful for the things that you see. I'm grateful for the computer that I get to speak into to have a podcast. I'm grateful for the material that I have, the creativity that I have to be able to create a podcast. I'm grateful for you on the other side of this screen who are listeners of this podcast. I'm forever grateful for that. I am forever grateful that this podcast brings you value and joy. But in the small things, the surroundings, are you grateful for the green trees? Are you grateful for the car you drive? Are you grateful for the food that you get to consume? So, sharing gratitude and acknowledging the small things, the surroundings that you see. So, that's one thing that I want you to think about is just having gratitude for things maybe that you don't think about on a day to day basis. And the second thing I want you to think about is at the end of your day, I want you to give yourself a little love, a high five, a pat on the back, write it in your journal, whatever it takes. Give yourself a little celebration for those tasks that you were able to accomplish that day instead of being worried about the things that you were not able to accomplish. So we're changing our focus from a focus of lack to a focus of abundance. And the more that you practice this skill, the greater your magnet becomes for the abundance that you want in the future. And next week's podcast, we will be talking about gratitude for the future. So if you have not had an opportunity, like I said earlier, to listen to the first podcast, please go back and listen to that. It will change the trajectory of your attitude and the abundance that you can attract. Because if we're always in a state of lack, we attract lack. And I know that's not what you want in your life. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. So let's 10x our gratitude together for the next 30 days. Again, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you rating and reviewing this podcast and sharing it with others if it has added value to you. You guys mean the world to me. If you would like to be a part of my private Facebook group, we're getting ready to amp some things up in that group with the upcoming book. You can go to my website, deannaherron.net, and just click on the little Facebook icon and it will automatically send you to Deanna's Diamonds, and I'll just accept your request. I have some lives in there. I have lots of material that I have shared with everyone and love for you to be a part of that amazing, uplifting group. And as always, follow me on Instagram at Deanna Herron. Love to hear from you. And after you listen to that first podcast, I've encouraged you to please reach out and let me know how this has impacted you, how it has changed your attitude, and how that abundance is being attracted in your life. God bless you guys. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Goodbye, everyone.